we're thrilled today to have the beginning, the launch, the start of Give Big 2026. I am very happy to be representing Give Big 2026 through 501 Commons. We're a nonprofit and we serve other nonprofits with back office services such as HR and IT and finance and fundraising support. Give Big has been around since about 2011, 2012, I believe it was, and it started the Seattle Foundation. It is a tool to help you, the nonprofit, to grow and thrive in terms of fundraising and learn how to use the fundraising tools in a community, a large community, Washington State, all getting together on a 1 day of fundraising this year. We've been doing it for 2 days for many years now, and we've decided to, at your request, at many nonprofits' request, to scale it back to 1 day. So it's concentrated effort in that. But today's effort is really to get you all started and get going on this. What's this all about? Some of you may have joined us before in the past and had another platform we had years ago. But for several years now, we've been thrilled to be partnered with Mightycause. Mightycause is a excellent service and platform that provides you the tools to raise money online year round, actually, but we're starting right here with Give Big on their platform. It's Mightycause. We contract with them, and we're thrilled today to have MK join us. She's coming in from the sunny state of Colorado, and we are really happy to have her. She's been working with us as our team advisor and lead from Mightycause. I'm going to turn it over to her and let her walk through a PowerPoint presentation on Give Big and all the information you need to know. This is not the only thing we're going to do. We're going to have some other seminars coming up later in this, but let's get going with MK. She can explain all about Mightycause and how to get registered for Give Big and some of the tips and tools. MK, I'll leave it over to you, and
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg. Hi, everyone. I am MK Holiday, and sorry, I don't have my mouse in the right place. I'm MK Holiday. I'm a program director at Mightycause, who, as Greg mentioned, we are the proud technology partner with 501 Commons, hosting the Washington Gives platform and helping power your Giving Tuesday efforts, your Give Big efforts, and year-round fundraising on the platform. So today specifically is a Give Big 2026 overview. I would say the content is more geared at folks that their organization is new to the platform, new to Give Big, or perhaps you as the nonprofit representative are new in your organization to Give Big, even though your organization has participated in the past. And so my plan is to go kind of an overview of what it takes for you to get logged in, registered, building out your profile, start telling your story through the platform. And then we will have another webinar a second webinar that will be geared towards more of the leveraging the fundraising tools, such as peer-to-peer fundraising or matching grants, recognizing offline gifts, things like that. So stay tuned for that second one. But if you have questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat as we go along. If I see them, I will try to answer them along the way. Otherwise, we have plenty of time for a Q&A at the end. And yeah, as I mentioned, I'm going to go through some slides, some screenshots of the platform, what I'm talking about, and then I will go to a live site and do a demo so that you can see. I know sometimes it's easier to actually see the click through to imagine what I'm saying as opposed to me just talking to you. So we'll go through that kind of in a live demo, and then we'll do the Q&A. So we'll go through some basics on the event, how to register, how to look through your to-do list, which is a part of your registration, and then a platform refresher, or maybe it's new information on the platform. So as Greg mentioned, Give Big is presented by 501 Commons. It is 24 hours of giving centered on May 5th, 2026. However, early giving opens April 28th, 2026. And as you know, donations are on year-round on the platform. But it's just that the donations that come in starting on April 28th, those are the ones that are going to be tagged towards the giving event. Tagged towards your metrics, maybe a prize if there's whatever the prizes are. And so it'll be donations within that contained space that count towards the events. And again, this is, Mighty Cause works with a large number of hosts like 501 Commons who manage anything from, a really large statewide fundraising event like Give Big to doing some real a smaller community events. And so we've got lots of expertise and examples that we can call on if there are questions, or that I can go back and find answers to by leveraging kind of the communal brain power of my fellow kind of account representatives, project managers, that sort of thing. And yeah, a big reason to be glad that you're participating with GiveBIG is that GiveBIG has raised over $200 million since 2011. And that's a huge impact for, the state of Washington. And oh, maybe that number is not updated.
No, 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 no. I was
Oh,
saying smiles, happy.
oh, good. I was like, oh, I hope that's great. I
No,
feel
this is
that.
my little heart
Yeah,
thing.
it's just, I love working. I mean, I'm a project manager, relationship manager, but I love working with giving events, and I've been doing this for the last about 8 years because it's a way for me to have my foot in the nonprofit community, and also, a way to see the impact on volunteers and program recipients and you, the nonprofits, through like different training and like elements that you can get through participating on the platform towards your year-round fundraising events, and just a way to kind of lift everyone up in the community by drawing awareness to all of the good work that's being done. So a couple of elements on how does it work for my nonprofit to be eligible to participate. You have to be have IRS approval for tax exemption. So that could be 501c3, C4, C6, or C19s. You have to be located in Washington State, or have a Washington State service location. You need to be, you could also be a tax exempt Washington State government program like an animal shelter or a youth program. You could also be a fiscally sponsored organization that meets those service area requirements, but you're fiscally sponsored by the 501c3, and so they're taking in the money on your behalf and distributing it to you. So fiscally sponsored orgs work as well. And the most important part about being eligible to participate is that you have to register, because if you don't register, it won't work. So first question, how do I register? If you are a returning Washington Gives platform user, um, you would be able to log in using your 2025 credentials, or on the login page, there's a password reset button, so you can reset your password right away. If you are a new employee or a new an organization or a new user to Washington Gives, you'll need to create your user login before we even worry about like the creating the new organization record. So you would go to washingtongives.org as well if you're new, and click login and create an account, and that will automatically log you in. And then we'll return to the registration page. And on that registration page, you'll see this module that's on the right-hand side of this slide. And it's the registration form. And right now it's saying I could enter my organization name or EIN, or if I'm a returning user, because me, MK, I'm linked to an organization called Stretch Pool, I can go ahead and just select that Stretch Pool organization and then click select and do the registration form from there. Maybe I'm tied to more than one organization and I don't see the correct organization, or maybe I'm a new user. Then I will go to where it says enter organization name or EIN. And I recommend putting in an EIN because sometimes, especially if you're like a school or an animal organization or something, there's a lot of commonality with names. And so organization name might not return the result right away that you're looking for. So search by your EIN, and we have access to all of the EINs that are verified in the IRS Business Master File. So enter your EIN and select your organization. If it doesn't come up, maybe you're a chapter or a new fiscally sponsored org, or you've just recently gotten your 501c3 status from the IRS. You would just go down to the bottom of the page and click that Create It Now. And that's just a short form that'll collect a little bit of information from you. And our support team will then reach out to you and get you set up with that organization record on the platform, and then let you know, hey, go back to the registration page and now enter your EIN, and it'll show you that organization. And so just a point of note, like if you are a fiscally sponsored organization and you enter that EIN for the sponsoring organization, don't register if you only see like one result, or don't register the organization that is sponsoring you. If you enter that EIN and you don't see your organization listed, then you want to go to the Create It Now. Um, if you do register for the wrong organization, we can remove it, delete it, start over, not a big deal. But if you don't see your organization, Create It Now. And if you have any questions, there's always the question mark icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the page that will get you to the Mightycause support team. Okay, so the first part of registration is selecting your organization. There's a short registration form for you to fill out. That's the first step. You'll get a confirmation email, and then you'll be logged into your account. And the next element of being fully registered is completing the required items on your to-do list. So when you land in your profile, you're going to show up on an overview page. But whether you're on the overview page or in your fundraising tools or on reports, you're always going to see up in the top left-hand side this to-do icon. If it has a little red dot next to it, that means there are items that you need to complete to finish your registration. Only the items in the required section need to be complete in order for you to be finished. So if you're a returning organization, you might have already done all of those required items. And so your registration, your participation might be approved as soon as you submit the registration form. For new organizations, you'll come to this to-do list, and you'll go to the open detailed to-do list. So you'll click that, and that will pop open this to-do list. And so as you can see, under required, we have two items. You need to make sure to upload a logo, and you need to fill out an about section. The about section has to be 50 words or more. That's the only requirement. And then everything else under here, recommended, is elements that 501 Commons thinks would be really beneficial for you to fill out to portray a well-baked profile with like all of the different elements that might be of interest to a donor. You don't have to complete the recommended items to participate. Again, you only need to have those check boxes for the required items. And then as you're going through this list, you can just click on whatever, and I'll show you this in the demo, but if you click on banner image, it'll take you to the area of your profile where you upload your banner image. If you're like, oh, I want to set up EFT so that I get, ACH deposits twice a month for donations made through the platform, then you'll click EFT setup, and it'll take you to the disbursement settings. So everything is made to be really kind of easy, straightforward, and not have you hunting around about where do I do something. Okay, so once you're in the platform again, there's a dashboard on the left, and I wanted to walk through some of the items that you're going to navigate there. So your dashboard in sum on the left-hand side is going to show you your overview. That's where you're going to land. It's going to have your registration status. It's going to tell you whether your to-do list is complete or not. If there's an announcement from 501 Commons, it'll show an announcement in an expandable window. It also shows some like quick stats, number of donors in the last 30 days, number, dollars raised in the last 30 days, just some quick metrics that you can play around with and look at differently. You'll also see a link to go to your organization page. So this is going to take you to the ability to preview your profile page and edit it on screen. It'll take you to, there's a fundraising area where there are the fundraising tools such as entering a matching grant or setting up a peer-to-peer fundraising page. Then there are reports. Reports are where you'll be able to access donation data from previous years on the platform, from donations as they come in for GiveBIG 2026. You'll also have the ability to go to a checkout section, and that's where we'll walk through customizing some of the donation flow, like the donor thank you page or adding some donation levels to tell your story. And then there is a settings which handles things such as, hey, I need to add my boss or an intern as an administrative user for my organization. You can go ahead and you can add them directly. You can also do some things like in the settings, I'll show you when we do the demo, but you could change the URL that points to your organization. You can put in some common like search terms for your organization. So maybe you're the Animal Humane Society, but in the area you're called AHS. So maybe you want to put AHS in there so that people know, oh, I'm searching for Animal Humane Society or AHS, and I find the same organization. So those are the main items on your dashboard. So again, the overview is always going to tell you in some sort of bolded color, what do you need to be doing right now? In this example, this organization needs to register. You see the register link that'll take you to the registration page, and you can fill that out right there. It would also tell you if your to-do list isn't complete, there would be another color for your to-do list is complete. If for some reason you are IRS and verified, it would draw your attention to that and how to get reinstated on the platform. And I didn't put in the actual numbers on here, but these little tiles are some of the quick glances, such as the number of page views, the number of donations, dollars raised in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So your organization profile, there's a lot of branding and storytelling you can do here, but you don't need to worry about, I don't have a full-time person to work on building out our profile, or, I'm a party of one, or like we're volunteer led. We don't have time to do a lot. You don't have to. I'll show you the different elements that are available to you in the demo, but you don't have to use all of them to have a kind of a well-baked profile. You can you can pick and choose what you have and tell your story with the different tools as you're able to, and we'll make sure that it looks good. The entire platform and definitely the profile and the checkout process are designed with a mobile first look so that no matter where you're viewing the page, people are always they're making donations, they're looking up information on their phones. Everything looks great on a phone. It's made to look best on like we designed for the phone first. It also allows you to build out your profile from your phone. So if you're, making mac and cheese for the kids and you're like, maybe I'll do some of my about section on my profile, you can go ahead and do that while you're on your phone. Um, but again, we have the tools that let you brand the page to look similar to your branding and tell, you know, a story about the impact that your organization has in the community. You want to upload your logo as part of that required item. So a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. The size doesn't matter. You can upload a banner image. We also have a gallery of some default images, but that's like the hero image at the top of the page. People will often do maybe a picture of program recipients or something unique to your organization, kind of how are you known, and do that as your banner image. And then maybe your theme color, your branding color is a certain hex code for green. You can go ahead and set that hex code so that all of the elements that would show a button or show that color are going to be branded to your page. So there's some synchronicity between our platform and how you display on your own website. Uh, our our about section, you can have an about section and another custom tab where you could tell any story you want, but this is the main place to tell your story. It's an inline editor. What you see as you're typing and formatting is exactly how the page is going to display. That goes for the entirety of the page. We have a what you see is what you get editor. Again, so that allows you to do like the bolding or the italicizing or a bulleted list or Perhaps you want to embed a video or a button to go to another location to get some more information. You could do all of that with you can do all of that with the tool. You can also go to your website and copy and paste something you have and paste it into here and be done with it. So you don't have to go crazy, but you can kind of use it to, you can kind of use it to have the donor kind of in line with what your story is for this campaign. Like, are you trying to fund a certain program? Did you get some really good news in a testimonial? Maybe you want to highlight those in your about section. Some people use that custom tab to the right of the about specifically for testimonials or program information. You don't need to do that, but it is there for you as kind of a second page on your profile. You can integrate lots of media, lots of social share settings. You can upload pictures, whether you have them stored on your Google Drive or they're in Dropbox, or maybe they're on your phone or on your laptop. Maybe you'll need to grab it from Facebook. You can do all of that through the media gallery. I really encourage the use or the uploading of pictures because I think that people are visual and visuals often tell a story. And so people are compelled to give when they see who they're giving to. Another awesome place to kind of raise awareness and get people motivated is with the page metrics. So it's optional to add a goal, which would enable a progress bar, but I highly recommend doing that. Um, Maybe this is your first year and you have no idea what your goal is going to be. I mean, you could put, you know, $5,000. And if you achieve that during the day or during early giving, you can go back to your goal and change it. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to have it in for it to be finite. You can change it as you go along to encourage giving, like get that, thermometer bar all the way across the screen. There are different stats that you can show. Maybe you want to emphasize the number of donors who are giving to you through GiveBIG 2026 as opposed to the amount raised. You could choose just to show one of those or show both of them. You can also include your offline donations. Those will be included by default, but you include your offline donations in your metrics. We will automatically have the metrics set to calculate for you starting April 28th at 12 a.m. So to encompass all of early giving through the giving event. We also have, as part of this, like on-screen kind of gamification, a giving activity wall. And so I'll show you how to enable that. And that shows if it was not an anonymous donation, it would show like Paul G gave $25, MKH gave $50. Donors can also choose to hide their name, hide their amount, or just be completely anonymous. So no worries about that displaying things it shouldn't. But the activity wall, we find it gets a lot of interest because people like to see like to see donations coming in. Um, Part of those recommended items that I think would be of interest to your finance person are for you to go into your settings to the disbursement settings and set up your EFT payout. So uh, disbursements, if they're paid direct to your routing and account number, um, are paid out twice a month, depending on when they come in. If you're not able to set up a direct payout with EFT, we would disperse by check, and checks are dispersed once a month and they incur a $5 fee. So if you want to receive the funds more quickly and not incur that $5 processing fee, you would just come to disbursement settings and set up the routing and account number for whichever bank account for your organization you want to be receiving the funds from the Washington Gives platform. As part of as you're working and strategizing and thinking about, and we'll talk through this more in our next webinar, but as we're strategizing about who to target, what kind of messaging to send them, a good way to find that, to base that information off of is by going to your reports and going to the donations. The admins receive email notifications whenever a donation is made, but you might want to pull a list of donors as they're coming in, and maybe you have a phone tree that calls the donors and thanks them, or maybe you send out a postcard in snail mail. And so you want to get a list of donors that have come through. Um, you can you can search for donations over all sorts of different time periods. So we have a filter that lets you say, the last 30 days or 90 or this year to date or last year, or a custom time period where you can put in the start and the end date. And you can say, I'm looking for, offline gifts that we entered then, or I want to see online or recurring donations. And maybe you want to target your campaign messaging to donors differently depending on whether they gave a certain dollar amount or whether they gave a recurring gift versus a one-time gift. And so playing around with the filters on the donations report allows you to access those past donors and do some targeted outreach for them. Part of the storytelling through the platform, I think, is done by this optional element, which is customizing the donation form. So in the dashboard on the left-hand side, there is a checkout area. So these are things related to the donor checking out. And on the donation form, you can add, as we show in the screenshot, examples of donation levels. Think of them as sort of like impact panels. So you could say, I want to give donors options of $10, 25, 75, 100, or you could say, I want to provide an impact statement with that as well. So $10 could feed a cat for a week, or $100 could provide transport for rescuing dogs and cats. So it kind of gives donors an idea of, if I leveled up, what might my leveled up donation do for the organization? It's not saying that it's restricted giving. It's just an example of the impact that a donation of that size could provide for you. Um, so the donation levels are great. Also, in the donation form, you can add a designation section if you want donors to be able to designate to something like a specific initiative other than, general funds. You can get into that. You can add an optional, like a custom donation form. So maybe you want to ask the donor, would you like to receive our quarterly newsletter or something like that? So you can put in two custom questions on the donation form. So that's available to you once your registration is approved. In the checkout flow, oh, I already talked over myself. So in the checkout flow, you can again figure out if you want to talk about designations, if you want to do the custom questions. And there is a button that you can click that allows you to preview the donor checkout flow so that you can see what your kind of donation levels and your layout looks like. The last, I think one of the more important elements of, you can skip the donation form altogether if you want, but I recommend definitively going to the thank you page area and putting in a kind of a personalized, more customized thank you message. Even if it's only a sentence or two, but it's coming, from, it's a quote from your program manager, or maybe from a volunteer, or from the CEO. Maybe you embed maybe a thank you a video, maybe a 20-second video that the staff made, or program recipients. You could always like add a button like see your annual report for more information. You can customize a thank you experience, and you have full access to all of the editing details that you have on your profile as well. But the thank you page does personalize it. And again, the platform will send the donation receipt email to the donor. This is just a thank you message on screen after they check out and make their payment. All right. So those are like kind of the basics of, I'm new to the platform, I need to register, or where do I start building out my profile, and what are the couple of like key areas that I could start to think about customizing my platform. So let me go into and show you with a click through. So the registration question, where do I go to register? You can come to Washington Gives and go to For Nonprofits and go to registration. Up in the right-hand corner, it shows my picture that I uploaded to my account, but it shows that I'm logged in. It shows my name. And because I'm already logged in, when I scroll to the registration form, it shows, as I showed in that screenshot, that I'm actually, tied, I'm actually an account user for this stretch pool organization. So if I want to register that organization, I'll just click that radio button. And if that's not the organization that I'm looking to register, I would just type in the EIN, see if it pulls up the organization I'm looking for. And if again, you're not seeing your organization, you come to this create it now and it'll open a little form for you to fill out. So the registration form, oh, I'm not in Washington State, so I can't do that. Um, I will show you a registration form on the demo. So again, we kind of enforce that you have to be in Washington to participate. So on the demo site,
One slight clarification, MK.
oh yeah,
If you have operations, let's say that your place is based in California or
oh,
Oregon or another state, and you have significant operations in Washington State, you can still register. So sorry to
oh,
didn't mean to
sorry.
correct, but there's a nuance difference
No, that's a nuance. That's an important difference.
because we have a lot of folks in like Vancouver and other places that are, or in Spokane, are in both territories, so states.
Okay.
So thank you. Sorry.
Oh no, thank you. Okay. So if 501 Commons, if I was Greg and I'm registering 501 Commons, I would enter that. And I need to agree to the terms of service. If you click the link, you'll get to the terms of service. Definitely review that because it does provide important, details about marketing and legal terms. So they're good to make sure that your staff has on hands. Uh, we ask if we look at a BIPOC question so that it can aggregate, so that 501 Commons can aggregate some of their results to their funders. It's not a public, it's not a public question or element. Um, we look at diversity of senior leadership, and again, that's not something we're publishing on the site. This is just for information for 501 Commons. Uh, we need to know where your state was originally registered. Um, we'd like to know what states you see the most donors coming to you from. We do need to know your revenue budget. And then it's just a simple question on whether you use WashingtonGives.org year round for fundraising, or if you have another payment processor that you use. And then we'd like to know a little bit more about you who are doing the registering. So what is your job title? We'll have your name and your email because it's connected to the login that you linked to the registration. If for some reason you started this and you're like, I don't have our revenue budget, you can click save and finish later. And when you go back to that registration page and type in when you log in, it'll allow you to select your organization. You'll come back to this page with the answers pre-filled that you had already entered. So you don't have to start over. But in order to submit this registration form, you have to click the continue button. So that's the continue button. That is how you register the first part. To come to, so to come, I am going to land as an organization user on my overview page. And this is where I mentioned, you'll see announcements. This is the demo platform, but if there are any announcements, they'll show up and you can make them slide off to the side. You will see those status messages about I need to do my to-do list or I need to register. You'll see some quick stats, analytics on, profile views in the last 30 days, for instance, some year-over-year data. And then that dashboard that holds all of the information that's always going to show over here on the left-hand side. And if it's getting in your way, you can collapse it. And if you want it back, you just click some people call this a hamburger icon. You click that and it expands the page. The to-do list, again, these required items are different on the demo platform than they are on the Washington Gives platform for GiveBIG 2026. But you'll see in this to-do list, here are some required items. I know because the There's an open checkbox. As I mentioned, you can click that open detailed list, and that will show you if, for instance, the organization page has a couple of different elements we recommend, it'll highlight all of them. As I said, you can click on any of these to go to that area. So if I want to set up my EFT, which again, for you all is just a recommended item, not required, you would click the EFT setup and it takes you directly to, it took me to settings and to the disbursement settings. And this is where I would simply enter my routing number and my account number and indicate whether it's a checking account and savings account. And then we'll verify that is correct. And if we need some backup information, support will reach out to you for that. Otherwise, most of them are just auto approved through our verification system. But yeah, so kind of I'm new to participating. Maybe the first thing I want to do is you don't have to worry about these pending approvals. Our support handles this queue. But you might want to add another person or two on your staff as an admin. So you'd come to settings and admins, and you can add an admin pretty easily with as much information as you want to track them. You just need a first name, a last name, an email, and a role. So you'll do that. I think what you would like to do is next come to general settings and customize the URL that's going to display for your organization. So, like, we don't want it just to be, a series of digits or numbers or letters. You want it to be a URL that is custom. It's always going to be unique to your organization, but we want it to be customized to show the name of your organization or the acronym of your organization. If you have a common name, it might be that you have to be Animal Humane Society dash Bremerton or something like that. It does have to be unique across the Mightycause platform, so you might be asked to customize it a little bit more than you were thinking. Um, and then and this is just like an important part of making sure that your organization is searchable and that you have the basics for starting your campaign. There's that alternate search names where you could do a comma separated list of a couple of different, keywords or acronyms that you can put in there. As I mentioned, like the Animal Humane Society is known by AHS, so I want to put that in there to make sure that if someone goes to the search page and types in AHS, they'll find me. So you can play around with this. Maybe not more than a handful of keywords or phrases in each of those items. So those are like the first like two or three settings, like kind of administrative things that I would take care of. And then, I would start building out my page. You come to this page that we're looking at is exactly how your profile looks. If you want to see what's my profile look like live right now, you could just make that dashboard go away, toggle off the edit mode, scroll down, and this is what your profile looks like. To edit it, you just toggle on the edit, and everywhere you see a little gray icon, that's something you can edit on the page. We make it really fast and easy. If you're short on time, you can go to the quick edit and you can say, oh, as part of my required items, I need to do the logo image. So I can just click logo image and it takes me to that area of the page. So if you're not quite sure, like, oh, I want to add that goal, like MK mentioned, click on the goal. And here you are in the goal area. It might be that your goal was hidden. No problem. You could just click on fundraising stats and then it'll show your goal. And as I mentioned, you can edit your goal, put in different dollar amounts along the way. Everything that you see on this page, again, like as you update it, that's how it's going to look. So once your organization is approved, this is your public profile. This is the about area where you can really do that whole branding and storytelling ability. Add an image or two. If you want to do a lot of images, I recommend making use of the media gallery, the carousel as well. But you can always add an image or two or a video to your about section. This custom tab is an optional. If you don't want to use it, no problem. But if you do, you can just, give it a name like programs and put in some programmatic information or testimonials and put in some testimonials. You could perhaps you want to do an initiative to have your board members all create peer-to-peer fundraising pages. You could through this is called featured campaigns, so featured peer-to-peers. This is where you can specifically search through the peer-to-peers or campaigns that have been created on behalf of your organization, and you can highlight them. So you could highlight the page from each of your board members and show them on the page. That could also incentivize them to follow through and create that peer to peer because you're featuring them on the profile and it'll be obvious to them and their peers if they're missing. So, use that. Or maybe you want to call attention to a couple of programs that you really want to raise funds for. You can maybe feature those as featured campaigns, but you don't have to use that. If you don't want to show featured campaigns, you just click hide section. If you want to add it back, play around with it, you can go ahead and add it. The giving activity, that's one of the elements that I recommend adding. That shows, again, the giving activity wall. So Anonymous gave $100 to this fundraising page, or MK gave $15, but donors can anonymize that data, and you can make that go away if you don't. And I recommend if you're encouraging folks to create fundraising pages for you, which we'll talk about more in the next webinar, showcase all of those campaigns on this page. You just add the section. It's just called supporting campaigns. And this is going to show you the most recent peer-to-peers or team fundraising pages that were created for your organization. And it kind of orders them so that the most recent ones are shown on this page first. And then as the event is occurring and donations are coming into them, the pages getting the most traction or the most activity are going to be displaying on this page, but you can always see all of the campaigns. And then this is the media gallery that I mentioned to display, your YouTube and your Venmo or uh, your different images. And we'll talk about matches in the next webinar. But lastly, this profile page will display any live matching grants that you have set up. And if a donor is so into your organization, they get this far, they're probably going to want some of this additional information. They might want to reach out to you, so they'll have your address or they'll have your phone number, your email. Not all of these elements are on the Washington Gives organization data, but this is just what's showing on our demo platform. What else? I guess important if your organization's not new to Give Big, but you're new, come to reports and go to donations. And this is where you can kind of filter different donors and different time frames, different dollar amounts, different donation types, and you can download that data. This is just quick glance donor data. When you download it, it'll give you like the address. If it's not anonymized, it'll give you, their address and other elements about whether they covered fees, et cetera. It'll give you all of that data in the download. This is just a kind of a quick glance summary of donations that occurred during whatever time period you chose. But so if you're an existing organization, this is something that you'll probably be tasked with looking at some point to talk about your campaign strategy. I think those are there's a lot more and you can start exploring. And if you have questions, there's always the support@mightycause.com email address that you can go to. There is also, actually, it's wagives@mightycause.com. We have a personal email address for the Washington Gives platform and the Give Big 2026 efforts. You can always click the question mark on the washingtongives.org website. That will take you to, if you're on your profile, for instance, and you click that icon, the support icon, it's going to automatically show you our support articles that are about your profile. So we know where you're at in the platform and we curate the list of articles that you see based on where you're at. And if those articles don't get what you need, you can just submit a ticket and we will reply to you. Our team is live from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. We also have a phone number that you can call with questions. It might go to voicemail, but we do return the calls. And there are two support libraries, the support.mightycause.com and our mightycause.com/guide that provide some different kind of information about the process of being on the platform and how you can use the technology to work best for you. I guess with that said, are there questions that we can talk about registration or about some profile basics or anything really?
Well, first, MK, thank you for
Yeah.
great overview of all this. There's a lot to unpack here, and she covered an awful lot pretty quickly. And so don't think that you have to memorize it all right away. It's a very
Mm-mm.
intuitive website, pretty easy to use, but just what going over what MK just mentioned here at the very end, always feel free to contact the help. They're quick, they're accurate, and if there's something that we need to do on our end at 501 Commons, they'll contact us. We'll take care of it, and then you'll be set to go and go forwards. So you're welcome to contact us at 501 Commons, but probably better to start with
Yep.
Mighty Cause first, okay? Because they're going to know, and they're going to have the back office stuff that they can do it quicker, I'll just say. My colleague Tim Takeshi and I are here to support you also, but we're not tech support people, and that's why we use the service at Mighty Cause to do this. It's a great system. It works really well. And again, they will what is the word I want? Highlight or bring the cases that need to be brought to our attention to us, but otherwise the vast majority of the time, they're just the people to go to and get your answers question. Everything from registering to everything else. Carrie's nodding. She must have experienced this, or she's just agreeing with me. Thank you, Umberto. Any questions or anything like that? Others? Natalie, now Laura, Maria in Central Washington. Any other questions right now? All of you. Tim, you want to add anything? Or Natalie looks like she came off mute.
Yes, can you, it's the one moment I looked away quickly, review where the pages to show the different options to where people can include different tag names, things like that would pull into your account?
Yeah.
Or Tim, I
Um,
forgot where that was. I couldn't.
no, that's okay. So so when you log in, you'll see the name of your organization that you're looking at. So if you have more than one organization, it'll show which one you're live on. You'll come down to, just so you know, the purple things, don't be like, where did that go? I don't see it. You won't see it. Only I see it. Well, and the other people that work at Mighty Cause. Um, so you'll go to settings and you will come to general settings. And this is where you want to customize your URL. And this is where you can add those alternate search names.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for good question. There's a lot of things going on here, and so we want to get you all registered and get you up and running. That's the key important part right now. Once you do that, then we can start, helping you with it. If there's other stuff you want to, I can't get my movie to load, or where do I put this, or
Mhm.
so and forth. There will be something later on, and I don't want to go into details right now, but somebody's along the way, you're going to go, oh my gosh, Mrs. Smith wants to donate $500 to us, and she's going to walk it into our organization with a check. What do we do? How do we add it to this? We'll go through that stuff later. There's just a ton of other things that are going to come up, but we want to give you the basics here of the platform. If you've participated before, you probably realize that it just auto populates with last year's stuff. Do update it, and get it with some new pictures or quotes or whatever it is. That helps quite a bit. MK
Hmm.
went through a lot of those different things. And we have 5 more minutes. So I'm going to stop talking and let you folks ask questions. There are no stupid questions at all. This thing is a great platform. We want you to use it to its full capacity to raise money and gain new friends and donors and so forth for your organizations.
I forgot to mention something, which was that on your profile in those recommended to-do list items, there's a link for you to go and add social media links, like your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, items like that, your website. We will have a social wall or carousel on the platform on the website starting when early giving opens on April 28th. So use, your hashtag for GiveBig 2026, and we'll be able to pull from social media uh, postings that are using the GiveBig hashtag. So get involved with social. It's a really good way to share. And also, it looks really cool on the homepage once we get that added.
Yep. Okay. Go to the order. Any other questions or anything? I'm not trying to cut this off. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to put it in chat or ask us right here. I'd be happy to help while you're thinking of that. The next training will be a month from today, I believe it is. Is that right? Did we land on that day, or we went back? What MK help me? I can't remember.
It is on
The 18th. Excuse me.
March. Yeah, 18th at 1. No,
Yeah,
that's Denver time at noon.
That's not on our website yet. It will be put on there this afternoon. Greg didn't do it yet. Bad, Greg. But that's the next step. And then there will be 2 more that we're going to do. One's on storytelling and another on using social media. So those are not there yet, but we'll be putting those up very soon. Watch for those. Again, thank you for joining us today. If there are not any other questions or anything, we will be including the recording of this and send it out to you, or put it on our website. One way or the other, you can find it.